There are two books that I think really stood out in the section, but for me, we've gone for the story of a genius and a flawed genius, but a genius nevertheless. And the winner is Kieran Fallon. Congrats.
What to say, I didn't expect this. Quite embarrassed. Obviously, just like to thank a lot of people that has helped me over the years of my career. In particular, someone who's with me tonight is Christopher Stewart Moore, and obviously our publishers and everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you, Kieran. Well, the Sky Sports cricket team actually judged this award. They felt the winning book was visually compelling. It themed a layout. It had images of a wonderful moment in Olympic history, in British Olympic history. It was the triumph of the women's hockey team. I believe we've got some hockey members in the room tonight. In fact, I saw one coming in because we were both putting our high heels on together at the gate. Georgia. The winner of this award is History Makers. It's by Richard Stanthorpe and Sarah Juggins. Girls, come over here just a sec, just a quick word. So this is all about, the image of the moment when you've had your big win and there's all that emotion, and it all, I would imagine, would be very chaotic, but a picture can just capture that moment perfectly. Can you still visualize what that winning moment was like?
It's amazing what they've done with this book, and for us it's so nice to be able to open up the book and kind of relive all those memories, because as you said, it's such a blur when that moment happened, and for us to be able to go back and relive those memories with such amazing photos, it is brilliant.
Thanks so much. Congratulations.
And the winner is Ali Alive by Jonathan A.
And Jonathan has sent a short acceptance video today, so I will hand you over to Jonathan.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry I could not be with you tonight. If Muhammad Ali were with you tonight, I think I know what he would say. He would say, "Give me that award, chump. It's mine. All you did was write the story. I lived it." Well, Ali understood better than most the important role that writers could play in telling stories, and he understood that his story was better when he trusted it with good writers, and that's why he had people like Norman Mailer and George Plimpton and Hugh McIlvanney hanging around him as much as he did. So I give Ali all the credit in the world. He was a biographer's dream. He lived a life of action, passion, consequence. He refused to accept the world as he found it. He fought even harder outside the ring than he did inside the ring. He really was the greatest. But I'm still not giving him this award. This is mine, and I'm thrilled to receive this honor. I want to thank the judges. I want to thank everyone associated with the award. I want to thank my editor, my publisher, my wife, and everybody in Ali's family and circle who trusted me to tell this story. It's a great honor to be associated with Muhammad Ali, and a great honor to receive this wonderful award. Thank you.
It's the story of a fantastic jockey who had a horrific accident. It takes you inside what it's like to be a fantastic jockey, but also inside the mind of a guy recovering from a horrific accident and a coma. It's an extraordinary collaboration, not least because he couldn't remember 4 years of his life. I mean, it's an absolutely amazing book. So the winner is Centaur by Declan Murphy and Amy Rao.
Pass it to Declan because this is very unexpected, and I'm speaking off the cuff, and I don't trust my cuff very much right now. Thank you very much for honoring our book and his life and my writing. I don't profess to be any kind of expert in sports writing, so I feel very humbled to be here in this company. Declan and I transcended the boundaries of gender and race and identity and all of that to make this happen. And to me, that is a true testament to the power of storytelling and to the will of a man and to the spirit of sportsmanship. So to Declan Murphy.
Got the
Well,
envelope?
the winner is... It's a bit confusing because two of the books have the same name, Over and Out, but it's Over and Out by Steve Neal about Albert Trott, the man who cleared the Lord's Pavilion.
First of all, I'm kind of really pleased to be on such a distinguished shortlist. And I'm glad the judges saw it exactly as I did, that the right book to win the award was, of course, Albert Trott, The Man Who Cleared the Lord's Pavilion, at a dinner at the Lord's Pavilion. So it's all worked out very well in the end.
As you've seen, John Woodcock is exactly the same age as the Queen, although the Queen is moving a great deal better than Mr. Woodcock, but the Queen probably hasn't had as many nights out with Henry Blofeld. I'll make sure that John gets the award, and he'll be thrilled, I'm sure, to receive it. Thank you.
David, thank you. This is the point in the evening where we just take a few moments to remember all those people who have died from the sporting world in the past year.
Coutts Football Book of the Year is The Billionaires Club by James Montague.
We've been talking a lot about football clubs here and Manchester City and winning the title and what it means and the great football that's being played, but we should never forget that Manchester City is owned by an autocratic regime, and where that money comes from is somewhere very dark. And so I want to mainly thank the dozens of people that I've spoken to, workers in Bangladesh, activists who are exiled in London, the people whose backs this game is built on. And if there's one thing that this book, I hope does, is give their stories, because where football is heading is not a particularly positive place. So thank you very much.
Tom Simpson, Bird on the Wire by Andy McGrath.
This was my first book. Wrote most of it on an old, defective laptop that I'd like to turn off occasionally with Microsoft Word Starter, which involved copying and pasting all the accents. And when you're writing about cycling, a lot of French races, there's a hell of a lot of accents. So maybe I can afford a new laptop now.
And the London Sporting Club Rugby Book of the Year concerns a player who's made the remarkable journey from the tiny Tongan village of Longo Longo to become a giant of the English game. He's handled weight issues, discipline issues. He even had an oversized brain that almost forced him to quit the game at 18. It's a brilliant read, and it is, of course, Wrecking Ball by Billy Vunipola.
Hi guys, sorry that I can't be there tonight. Just a quick message from me, just saying how honoured and humbled I am to have received this award. Thank you to everyone that made it happen, but also I would like to reiterate that from the outset it was never about making awards or winning awards, so I'm very, very thankful and humbled by this gesture, and all the people that voted for me. Thank you, and have a great night.
The winner for this year, Autobiography of the Year, goes to Unbroken by Martin Wright with Seymour.
I remember flicking through this paper and thinking, I'm a Londoner. I'm a proud Bow Bell Cockney, so I was actually born very near the stadium and the park. So I was like, well, I've got to get tickets. I've got to get tickets to this. And then just a few seconds later, we went into a tunnel, and the explosion happened. Suddenly, I was sitting in this place that wasn't recognisable as a tube carriage. There was just smoke everywhere, screams. You know, all the seats, I'd not realised, but all the seats were blown away, and we were literally in a crater, you know, because the bomber was only 4 foot away from where I was sitting. So I'm very, very, very lucky to be here. And as the clouds, I say they're clouds, but as the smoke cleared, I looked up and I saw my trainer on top of these metal shards that were just, I didn't realise they were going into me at the time, but they were. And I looked at this trainer and it was covered in blood, and it was probably about, 7 foot above me. Because by this point we weren't sitting in chairs, as I said, we were sitting in a crater. And I remember thinking, how can my trainer be up there and it's got splashes of blood on it, you know? And again, you know, after I realised that my leg was still attached to it.
Do you hate the bombers, what they did?
Am I angry towards the bombers? No. I'm angry towards someone else or people above them. But in the beginning I was very angry towards the government, and I still am angry towards them because they've made no reforms to their support for victims of terrorism.
Now, your book is essentially a sports book because you became a Paralympic volleyball player. Now, if this is a movie, people just wouldn't believe it. But it's your life.
I'm quite an ambitious, competitive person, and I was looking to replace that drive and ambition that I used to feel at work. So my lovely, lovely physio, Maggie, took me along to an Amputee Games, which is pretty much a Paralympic potential day. Tried all different sports, but fell in love with sitting volleyball that I'd never heard of. And had I touched a volleyball in my life before? No, not at all. The next 2 years is a slight blur because, yes, you don't just get to be a Paralympian. This all happened literally 3 months after having my son Oscar. So 3 months he was still a baby, and then suddenly I was off for training weekends, things like that. Obviously, once I started thinking about, right, I'm on the national team, 2012, you know, is around the corner. I'm a Londoner. The opportunity to maybe be able to go back to London and, you know, take part in one of the biggest events that we've ever had in London, to be able to do that after leaving on such a negative. That dream was just so important. I will never ever forget the opening ceremony of the Paralympics, because for me that was such a symbolic, I don't know, 360-degree circle of being back in London, being back after leaving on such a negative after 7/7. But do you know what was even more important was to look up at my family and and say, look, it's okay. You know, we've got through it, and look at all these wonderful things we're doing from it, and we've got stronger. And you know, if we hadn't been through that awful time, we wouldn't be here now. So that was such an important thing for me to do that.
That's it. Thanks for coming. I had a lovely evening. Safe journey home. God bless. Good night.